What's up, family? It's your boy Wavy from the West Side. Today, what I'm specifically going to talk to you guys about, my longtime sponsor, Strike Movement. We have a lot of different types of shoes. We got shoes for trail running, functional training, street training that work perfect for me, for parkour, shoes for skating. We got shoes for distance running, and we even have shoes for Olympic weightlifting. So yeah, we got a lot of different types of shoes. The shoes that I prefer to use mainly for my parkour training, the HAZE, in which I actually have two signature shoes. Have my original black and red right here. Yeah, this is my first signature shoe ever. Fun fact, this is also the first signature shoe that any parkour athlete has ever gotten from a non-parkour company. A historic model right here. There were only 1,000 of these made. I wish I had more. This is the HAZE DS2. This is my second signature with Strike Movement. Look at that. Pretty sick to have my name and the squadron logo on this shoe. This is monumental for parkour. The reason why this is my main trainer, I love the fit, the feel, the ground feel in general. Very well molded to my foot. It kind of adds a little bit of like a personalization of the experience for me, and it would do the same thing for you if you got a pair. I do have big feet, and the wide toe box is great on the shoe. There are some interior design features that actually increase the stability of the shoe, almost like it's grabbing your foot. Pretty top notch. I love it. Grip. You know, typically with the HAZE models, the grip out of the box is incredible, and it only gets better with time. I will say that my experience with the grip on different colorways does vary. On my shoe, the white bottom, the grip seems to be really, really solid out of box, both for indoor and outdoor training. Anything regarding climbing or anything like that, you can totally get that work done easy money without having to wear the shoes in. And on the note of the different colorways, that's actually one of the other reasons why I love the HAZE so much, because we got so many colorways. There are so many colorways of the HAZE. This is an unreleased that I've been wearing for the last few years. Been rocking these bad boys right here. But we ain't gonna talk about these. But they nice. Got some real value out of these bad boys. It isn't the most padded shoe that we offer at Strike Movement, but the padding is reliable. It's definitely reliable. If you're taking bigger impacts, then I would say go over the VIMANA route or the Sigma route even, which I'll talk about those later. The HAZE is my #1 shoe. It has been my #1 shoe for the last about 6 years solid now, and love them. From the grip to the fit to the multiple colorway option to the durability, the long time performance that you can get out of just one pair of shoes, the HAZE is definitely my #1 go-to. On the other hand, there is another shoe that I have frequented that is also a favorite of my good man Ed Scott out in the UK, King Edward, world champion. The guy is a master. This is his favorite shoe, the VIMANA Hybrid. Right here. So the VIMANA, our first trail hybrid shoe that I believe released in 2020. I've been in this shoe as well since about that time, since 2020. I spent all of 2020 and early 2021 rocking these shoes for Trials Morales, my pinnacle climbing film. Go check that out on the Squadron YouTube channel. I mean, the fact that these are trail shoes. This is a trail hybrid, good for running on trail and on the road. And I spent the entire duration of my nearly 20-minute film doing some of the hardest parkour climbs that I have ever done in my entire career in this shoe. And now it is available in a fully waterproof version. This is the VIMANA V2O from Strike Movement, our first waterproof shoe, and it comes in a couple cool colorways. This specific colorway has actually been my workhorse recently. As soon as I got these, I took them out and I started working with them, and man, they are incredible. I don't know exactly what Mark did differently to the upper of the shoe, but man, it feels so good out of the box. The fit feels great out of the box. It feels good to move in out of the box for anything like plyometrics, vaults, tricks, lines, combos, things like that. However, I did find that it was not awesome out of the box grip wise for very challenging dynamic climbs, like very challenging parkour climbs. I was finding myself doing some double taps, doing a couple like ascending lines in these out of the box. They were not gripping as well as I know them to when they're worn in. However, they did wear in pretty quickly. I mean, I wore them for about 3 days straight, and I made sure to get a lot of street work in, mostly vault passes and lines, combos, fast things on the ground outside. I think that wore down the bottom a little bit, and as soon as they started to actually wear down, which kind of happened the 3rd day in them, that was when I started to notice, okay, yeah, we're good. This is what I'm used to. This is what I remember climbing in. And I would actually argue that they're minorly better. I think something about this upper here, the fit is very nice and they're so flexible. That's like one of my favorite things about them is how flexible they are. I'm gonna show you guys an example real quick. That's crazy. A lot of really good feedback, a lot of good experience now that I have with these, and I've only had them for the last 2 weeks, and man, they've just been perfectly integrated into my regimen. One of the things specifically, and one of the reasons why I started wearing the VIMANA more recently is actually the padding. I've been doing a lot of speed lines, speed combos. When you're doing that kind of speed on the streets, you are stomping into the ground. I like to cover a lot of distance when I do my things, so you know I'm really pushing for it, and transitioning between grass and concrete was another one of the reasons why I really wanted to get back into the VIMANA, specifically because this ridgy outsole that we have here is incredible for transitioning from the grass, the gravel, the dirt to the concrete, because I feel like almost a little bit cleat-like it can just grab a little bit better than the smooth bottom of the HAZE. So this is one of the reasons why I got in these. The other reason is I had ankle surgery about 9 months ago, 8 or 9 months ago, and I felt like I needed a little bit more padding to help me absorb some of the impact a little better, especially with how much of those like hard impacty speed lines I've been doing. I got back into these and they have been a dream to train in. And the new model, this one right here, the V2Os, these have been great. And I'm so happy to have these in my rotation now. Switching back and forth between the VIMANA and the HAZE. HAZE is definitely still my main workhorse for everything. I would prefer to be in the HAZE for all of my indoor work and most of my outdoor work. They're so reliable. The grip is reliable. The ability for me to be able to like take hard cuts and dynamic side to sides is incredible in the HAZE. And having a shoe that can actually perform at my level of agility is a godsend. If I need a little bit more padding, I'll go back into the VIMANA. If I know I'm going to be going back and forth between grass, concrete, dirt, gravel, and all that kind of stuff, I'll kind of hop back into the VIMANA. But if I'm going to be all street or all gym, I will be in the HAZE trainers, my personal pair. Or I'll be rocking the homie B-Boy Wickets Sways trainer. All right, so I actually just got these, and I've been training in the Sways for the past couple years since they came out. And if you want a shoe that is much more durable than the mesh, that can really take a beating, the Sways is the option, and we do have multiple colorways. This is the B-Boy Wicket Breakbook Red Signature. Love these. And I've also been training in the HAZE EZs. Shout out the boy EZ. Check that out. This is the signature of my boy Elijah Muhammad. These are the only 3 signature shoes on the Strike roster so far. So these are really special. And again, I love the colorways. I love the multiple colorways and keeps it fresh. The shoe performs the same way, especially when they're all worn in. The rubber is pretty much 1-to-1 when all of the shoes are worn in. You know, the only difference is out of the box, some of the colors aren't as grippy, but as soon as they wear in, they are nice. But yeah, we have a lot of great products at Strike Movement. I think we have the right shoe for anybody who wants to get into like a specific type of trainer for their specific type of practice. So I would definitely recommend that you guys head over to strike-mvmnt.com and get yourself a pair of Strike shoes today, because they are best in class in my humble opinion. Yes, I am biased, but I also know what I'm talking about. So yeah, you don't have to get Strike shoes obviously to do the things that I do. Any shoe that you feel comfortable in does work, but if you want something special, tailored, and with the consultation of an actual expert professional that knows what he wants out of a shoe, you can't go wrong with Strike Movement. So yeah, thanks for rocking with me, y'all. West High Wavy, out of here.